Okay, okay, okay. Hello, my name is Sylvia Ludus. I am an adult content creator, and here today, today I'm here to talk to you about my work, the history behind my work, some behind the scenes industry stuff, and likes, dislikes, what it was like my first time filming with someone else, and yeah. I hope that we can actually get this shit done this time. So, I started sex work in October, November of 2024, and then I started camming in more so November, December, I would say. I started in OnlyFans first, and I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. On OnlyFans specifically, there's no search function, there's no like explore page like there is Instagram. So you really do need something else to give you a following to get you fans to your account. I had known that I wanted to go into the sex work industry since before I turned 18. Honestly, for being truthful, probably since I was a kid, but I didn't like actually explicitly think, oh, I want to do this until, I want to say 17, which controversial, I know, but I don't give a fuck. So initially I wanted to strip, which I would like to try out stripping eventually in the future. Not what I'm doing right now. I think as a side job it would be fun. But yeah, so I didn't really know anything about like cam sites. Like I understood the concept of a cam girl, and like if you don't know what that is, what that means, basically think of like Twitch with your pussy out. Pussy out Twitch. Sexy Twitch. Sexy Twitch is usually how I describe it. But like you don't have to take your clothes off on there. You don't have to show your face. Certain tags on there where like there's like a smoking tag, at least on Chaturbate, where like guys would want to see the girls like smoke on camera. From what I've heard, sometimes they would get like a bit pissy if the girl wasn't actively smoking. Or like, you know, you can play video games on different campsites. You cannot play like regular video games. It's mostly like indie hentai games, or just like explicit kind of games in general, just because the campsites don't want the game companies to get mad at the campsites for associating their products with something sexual. Or like, you know, you can like do your makeup on stream, just chill, or like some like more femdom type creators do stuff like ignore streams where they will just straight up ignore. Or like I've seen a lot of the bigger accounts, like sometimes they straight up won't even talk to the chat if the chat's not tipping, which good on them, good on them. And there is a difference between premium campsites and free campsite. If the person has not bought any tokens, has no intention of buying something from a streamer, you have the option to let them into your chat or not, or into your room in general. So I was on Chaturbate. I personally would still let them, oh god, I fucking hiccups. Okay, I personally would still let them in just because I don't want to talk to them, but if they do ever want to buy tokens, like, then you can chat. But I would say I did pretty well with like gaining followers and stuff. Something, I want to say it was 6,500, but I don't want to like overestimate, and I'm sure that some people have unfollowed me since I haven't been active. One thing that I found really beautiful about camming was that, you know, big boobs, little boobs, no ass, all the ass, like it really, you're gonna be loved for what you do on there, like for you as whatever you come with, you know? Which I feel like before starting in the industry, I kind of felt like there was much more of like a cookie cutter image. You can really be whatever, on campsites. So I liked that for a while. I found that camming was not really for me just because I do not enjoy gambling with my money. I didn't enjoy the inconsistent traffic. I also did not enjoy having to be online every day at a certain time, which I know that sounds so like fucking lazy, but God forbid I'm honest. Yeah, when it came to consistency, I just really sucked. Which if you'd seen my streams or followed me on there, you probably know. So eventually, I was like, you know, I want to try doing boy-girl content. I feel confident enough in my ability to advocate for myself that, like, I don't know, I felt more comfortable actually dealing with producers and, like, I don't work with any agents, but, like, if I were to come into contact with them, I would feel confident that I could hold my own and not just get like over talked and like word vomited and just like pulled into something I didn't want. But yeah, so then when I decided I wanted to do boy girl content in like June, July of this year, 2025, I didn't know like where to get a porn job. I was like, where to find porn jobs on Google. So I did that, and I got multiple answers, people being like, you know, contact producers, contact studios, contact agents, and then I really didn't want to like contact producers and agents and stuff, and I was just more so looking for like a sexy Indeed. Like, I didn't know if that existed, and I'm sure there are other sites. The one that I found looks a bit dated, but it seems good. I will say I've had over 200 offers. I've only accepted probably like, if we're talking shoots that I've completed so far, that would be 4. But people that I've agreed to work with and yeah, shit just didn't work out, or scheduling wise, whatever it was, I want to say like 6 or 7 so far. But yeah, most of the offers on there have been bogus. There are a few things that will completely stop me from even considering a guy's offer. If you're rude to me, not being forthcoming with information, if I ask you for stuff and you can't send it to me, or you can only send me screen recordings of your work, that's not gonna happen, because you think I'm fucking stupid and you're pissing me off. Too low of a rate. How many did I say this? Then now I guess we will go into prices and stuff like that. Okay, so this is kind of a hard question for me to answer, just because I don't personally charge average rates, I don't feel like, especially for a beginner. But I mean, personally, I don't give a fuck, like, because at the end of the day, I'm the one bringing in the views. I'm what they're here to see. I'm what they're here to see, and I should be paid as such. And I will tell that to anybody else trying to be in the industry. That is a very privileged statement to make. It is. Most women do not have the ability to do that, whether that is they're working on the streets with a pimp, whether, you know, they just have to take whatever they can get. If that's what you're doing, if you're just like making whatever you can, that's perfectly fine. I just say what I say to let people know that you have the ability to advocate for yourself. Shitty managers, shitty producers are gonna make you feel like you can't, but you can, and you should ask for more if you don't feel like what you're doing is worth the amount that you're getting. I want to say 600 to 700 to start, and I'm not even gonna say anything under 500, because for boy girl, I personally don't think you should be doing it for anything under 500. It's just not worth it. But yeah, and then stuff like dominatrix work tends to pay less from what I've seen. Foot content pays less. Stuff like anal is definitely an upcharge. And the amount you get paid really depends on stuff like how many scenes are you filming, how long are the scenes gonna be, what specific actions are you doing, how intense are the scenes going to be, how many followers do you have, how many followers does the guy have, else, and then obviously personal preference. Like, that's why I charge a little bit higher, just because certain actions like sucking dick are harder for me because of my past. So yeah. So okay, so like I was saying, I decided in June, July that I wanted to do my first shoot. So I did the research, found the site that I wanted to use, got offers. Most of them were shitty, but eventually I talked to this one guy. I definitely felt some not great things at the start, mostly because of one of the comments he had made. He mentioned something about doing Adderall, and in my head I'm like, okay, doing Adderall is not that bad, but like, that was kind of unprofessional as fuck to tell me. He was straightforward with the kind of content he wanted to make. When I got there, it was kind of, we had to renegotiate on the price, because I was like, you're wanting to film a lot more than what this price is worth. And so we did, and I ended up getting better pay, but it seemed fine. We discussed, you know, the fact that it was my first time, and yeah, so everything was good to go. So I was getting the plans made and getting ready for the upcoming shoot, I'd asked my grandma if she could pick me up from the airport. She was like, what for? I told her. She was like, you can't go. They're gonna fucking inject you with heroin and you're never gonna come back. Like, you can't fucking do that. And I was like, okay, well, you know, if you don't want to pick me up, that's fine. Like, I can just get somebody else. She was like, okay, I'll pick you up. Can I have his information so I can look him up? She didn't say it all like that. But I was like, yeah, like, sure, why not? Like, you're not gonna find anything that I didn't find. So I'd go ahead, have a ball. So she texts me screenshots of a conversation between her and somebody named Papa Blank. I'm not gonna say his name. But Papa Blank says, oh, this is bad. This is bad. He's not actually even from Blank. He's from California. And he sends a limo to the airport, and the girls get in, and they never come back. He's an open case against him right now. Right now. And he said that Kash Patel, head of the FBI, was on the case now. He was like, you can't let her go. And my grandma was like, I'm sorry, baby, I can't let you go. And I was like, Grandma, okay, I'm still going. That, like, this isn't, you're not stopping me. And I'm not gonna lie, she did get into my head a little bit, but I was like, I don't think Papa Bruce knows what the fuck he's talking about anyways, because Kash Patel doesn't even handle sex trafficking cases. So I was like, what the fuck ever. And she's like, I'm coming to the house. And I said, if you come to this house, it's gonna be a screaming match. I'm not coming to the house. Yeah, don't do that. And so we go back and forth a couple more times, and I ended up blocking her because I was like, this is not up for debate. I understand that you're scared. This is not up for debate. I'm going whether you like it or not. It was either like the day of my grandma sending me those screenshots or a few days after. Why do I get a phone call from the guy I'm supposed to be working with, and he's like, hey, would you happen to know anything about Blank Police Department? Or he said like someone. He didn't even say who. He said someone calling my mom about a fraudulent flight into Blank, where I was going. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah, I think that's my grandma. I'm really sorry. Like, she's been freaking out at me for me going. Like, I'm sorry. I did not tell her to do that. I didn't know she was gonna do that. Like, and he was like, yeah, my mom has Alzheimer's. She was, like, pretty freaked out, and I had to, like, calm her down and stuff. And I just felt bad that a lady with Alzheimer's got freaked out. And he was like, well, you know, like, the flight is not fraudulent. And I was like, I know. And he was like, do you still want to work together? Yes, I do still want to work together. He asked if he should talk to her. I was like, no, you don't need to talk to her. You do not need to talk to her. Please don't talk to her, actually. The next day or a few days after that, I get woken up out of my peaceful sleep by my mother, who says, we have to go talk to some detectives soon. I think, actually, she had said, like, if you don't want to go, like, they're gonna come to the house. So I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna have to talk to them either way. Like, okay, I guess. So then I get up later. It's like a Sunday. And no other officers or anything were at the building. I don't know what building this was. It was some kind of government building, but nobody else but us four were there. So we get to this place. Right as I get out of the car, I'm on edge because I don't like talking to cops. I don't like seeing cops. I don't like hearing cops. I don't like smelling cops. I don't like bacon. So, we're walking up to the door, and it's starting inside me because I'm fucking pissed. Why am I here? And I did still want to talk to them just a little bit because I was like, okay, shit, like, I'm here already. Like, let me at least see if this guy has a case on him or, like, whatever is going on with that. If they're going to tell me that, then, you know, good for me, I guess. But if they weren't, why the fuck am I here? We walk through the building. So, yeah, so we get into this little ass room. And so they're like, you know, hey, like, your grandma called us and she wanted to make sure everything was fine, said that you wanted to do this. We looked up the guy and he doesn't seem, like, bad or anything. Nothing, like, out of the ordinary, like, on his pages or anything. And so when I heard that, my mom's sitting next to me, and I'm like, oh, there's no case against him. Oh my goodness. And I'm fucking pissed. I wasn't acting like insane, but I was definitely being like a dick because I didn't want to be there, because I shouldn't have had to be there, especially if there was nothing against him. I shouldn't have had to sit there for an hour. What felt like an hour and 15, 20 minutes, maybe closer to an hour, 10 hour. I shouldn't have had to be there, period. And so they're telling me all this stuff like, oh, you know, this girl met this guy from Plenty of Fish and she was found dead in a dumpster. And I'm really trying to be polite at this point. I'm really not trying to, like, I'm trying to be nice. And I'm sitting there in my head, I'm like, maybe it's because she was meeting a guy off fucking Plenty of Fish. And I'm just like sitting there trying to do my deep breaths. And it really pissed me off, one, because they were cops, but two, because I felt like my discernment was being called into question. And I have to sit here and explain why not just meeting a stranger off the internet, I'm meeting a stranger for work, for business. He's bought the tickets, he's used his credit card, his government name is up there and everything. Like, do you guys think I'm fucking stupid? Or do you think I'm fucking stupid? Because at this point, it feels like you think I'm fucking stupid. It does. And yeah, eventually that is all over. Thank God. They end up telling my mom basically, like, you know, we can't do anything. She's of age. We cannot stop her. To keep in contact. Don't, like, cut her off or anything, because then you're really not going to have any way to know what was going on or if I'm safe. So we leave. Thank fucking God. And, okay, so then the day of the flight comes. I get my happy ass up, 5 a.m., pretty sure, 5 a.m. My bag is packed, I've got my outfit on, I got my boots on, I'm ready to go. So I get downstairs, and my mom works not far from the airport that I fly out of. The airport I fly out of isn't even in my same state, so it's not super far, but it is a little bit. And the flight was like early in the morning. So I'd asked her, like, could she take me, because it's kind of hard to get an Uber where I am. It depends. Sometimes it's easy to get an Uber, sometimes it's not, and I really didn't want to play that game before a flight. So I had asked her if she could take me, and she had said yes. She was acting really fucking cool about everything until the day of. So I go downstairs, and I'm like, what's up, mommy? Like, what's up, mommy? Are you ready to go? She's sitting against her bed like this. I can't take you. You can't take me. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't take me? And I was, like, freaking out. Because at this point, the shit with my grandma had happened. I was already embarrassed. And I already told him, like, you know, I'm not gonna flake out. Because that's one thing I've heard from multiple producers, is that, like, they'll make plans to work with these new models or new girls, and then the girls will just, like, get cold feet and just, like, not show up. And the flight is already booked, and so that's just, like, a waste, obviously. And I told him, like, I was like, you know, like, I'm nervous, but I'm about this. I'm going to go. And so now she's sitting here telling me she can't take me. What do you mean you can't take me? So I'm real upset. So I go upstairs. And I just want to go to sleep. I text him, I'm like, I'm not coming. Like, she said she won't take me. I don't have, there's not enough time to get another, like, to get an Uber and to get there in time to get through TSA for the flight. Like, I'm not coming. I'm sorry. I can't do anything. Like, so he calls me, and I declined the first time, and he's like, can we please talk on the phone? I was like, I'm so fucking pissed right now. Like, please, like, I don't want to talk. And so then he's like, please, like, maybe we can get the flights rescheduled. And I was like, fine. So we talk on the phone, and he reschedules the flight. He books an Uber for later. Cool. So then I get in the Uber, and the whole Uber and the whole, like, plane ride there, I was fucking nervous. Stomach is doing flips, pretty much. And I guess I look kind of nervous, because why the fuck did the Uber driver start playing Pink Pony Club? Which, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. You did kind of partially assess the vibes correctly. But I'm sitting in the Uber like this. So I go through TSA, and when I get to the airport, my mom is blowing up my phone. like, please don't do this, please, like, just, I don't even know what all she was, like, begging me, just because I did not care so much at that point. I was like, you know what, if you don't stop texting me, I'm blocking you, and I'm not unblocking you, like, stop texting my phone, I'm going. And so yeah, I went, the guy that I worked with, he was fucking tipsy when he picked me up, which I was not happy at all for, and I told him that, and he ended up telling me, like, that he had been at the bar and he had drank before that, which he didn't need to tell me because I could smell it on him, which I was not happy about that at all. Like, we're driving to his house, and oh, also, for some context, some producers, some amateurs will film stuff from their house. I really don't want to do that again, though, just because I had to be on his schedule, and I really didn't enjoy doing that. Like, I don't want to, let me not be rude, but I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be in somebody's house. I want my own space. But, so we're driving to his house, and he's, like, fucking looking at me, talking to me, and it's dark outside, and he's tipsy. And so I'm, like, fucking looking at the road, like, if you fucking kill us if we get into a crash before I get this money, if the car crash doesn't kill you, I will fucking kill you. So, yeah. So, and I'm not gonna say everything that happened. Actually, yeah, no, I think I am gonna say everything that happened behind the scenes, just because, yeah, I don't really care. But anyway, so we stop at this, like, gas station, and he wanted to get, like, more beer or whatever, and he got me some, like, whatever Kentucky brand beer. It was gross. I hate beer. But I was like, you know, I'll have, like, one. Like, shit, why not? I'm not getting fucked up at this guy's house. So then we get there. This is, like, kind of embarrassing to, like, say out loud, like, to, like, whoever. But, so, yeah. So then, and he had given me, like, a smidgen of weed, like, probably, like, this much. And I smoked it. I didn't feel anything, because I have a high tolerance. And so he had smoked a little bit, too. And so he's, like, crossfaded at this point. He's like, how do you feel? I'm like, normal. Then I go into the guest room, and I'm just kind of decompressing, doing my stuff, getting ready for bed. And he had texted me. He was like, you want to fuck? Shoot, why not? Like, we're already going to be doing that for filming anyways. And I was down for that till I got in the room, and he was like, can you give me head? No. He was like, but I kind of said you had to. And I kind of said no. And we're not filming a video right now, so we're not actually working. This is out of the kindness of my heart. And if I say no to head, that does not mean you try to convince me otherwise. No means no. And he's like, oh, okay. And so I get up, I'm like, yeah, we're done for now. You have a good night, but I'm going back to the room. And he also ripped my clit really fucking bad. He ripped my clit so bad. It was like 3 to 4 days till it healed. And mind you, I have long labia. I'm kind of partial to tearing in general. But he ripped that shit so bad that I could not even touch it in the shower afterwards. And I've never had a rip that bad. Just because he was like fucked up, just like DJing, and it was not wet enough to do that, so he ripped it. So any chance I had, or any hope I had of coming during that trip was just fucking gone. Which was lovely for me. And, like, his girlfriend is, like, the face of the brand, but I don't think it was her idea, and so that also kind of makes me wary of, like, working with him again, just because, I don't know. I don't know. But, I mean, aside from that, like, we went to the gym a few times when I was there. He made food for me and shit like that. I digress. But, yeah, so I ended up also filming with his girlfriend on the last day, which, after, you know, the being tipsy, picking me up, ripping my clit, asking for head, saying I fucking had to, I lost respect for him, honestly, after that, so I was not really interested in talking to him that much. But his girlfriend, oh my god, I was so excited to meet his girlfriend. Loved her. We filmed for 20-30 minutes, and that was, like, my last day there. So I have a partner. This month it'll be a year and a half, but he's fine with me doing sex work. I told him before we got serious, very, very early into us dating that I wanted to be a stripper. That's what I wanted to do. I also might want to do some other stuff in the sex work industry. I'm not sure yet, but I was not willing to sacrifice my plans and my goals for a relationship that I did not know was going to be fruitful. And he was okay with that. He's really not a jealous person, to the point where sometimes I'm like, damn, like, can you kind of be just a little bit jealous of, like, just a little, not jealous of me, but jealous, like, just a little bit. I think honestly that really works out for me. I could never be with somebody who does not let me explore life, who doesn't give me a long leash, I guess you could say. But yeah, so for likes, obviously I get an outlet to let go of some of that sexual energy, explore certain kinks, certain fantasies that, you know, my partner might not be into. He's really not into, like, he's not into hitting me, which is, you don't want to hit me? You wouldn't smack this face? So I think that's my biggest like, definitely, is that I get to explore. I guess another like would be that I'm an exhibitionist, so if you don't know what that means, it just means I get off on being watched, being seen in the nude, being seen doing whatever. And so it is fun for me. It turns me on, because I'm like, ooh, who's watching my stuff? Like, who's secretly lusting over me? Dislikes would obviously be the men. Obviously the men. Shitty offers, you know, people that want to do bad things to me, people that want to fuck me over money-wise or get me in a vulnerable position. I don't really have that many big dislikes. Ooh, how do I feel after a shoot? I feel good. I feel like I got my money, and I feel like I hope the scenes look good. I hope I wasn't making any crazy faces. Especially through the foot one. I was like, oh my god, why do I look pissed? I'm just like excited to eat, excited to travel back home, because I like flying on planes and I like airports. But yeah, I feel good. What we're going to be talking about next kind of, I feel like, does a great job of explaining or kind of adding context to why it is so easy for me to do the work I do, why it's so easy for me to talk about certain things. And I feel like if we're having any kind of like honest conversation about the way I view my body, the way I view sex, the way I view intimacy in general, we have to kind of cover this little dark kind of not great thing. I think when it comes to separating the sex that I have for work and the sex that I have for true pleasure and connection, I think that really comes down to me being molested as a child. Some of my first memories are of being molested by a cousin on my paternal family side. So your memories really start to stick around ages 3 to 4. Maybe a little bit earlier depending on some kids, maybe a little bit, I would hope not later, but I'm sure it happened. I've never lived a life where I was not aware of sex. Preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, all the way up, I've never gotten to experience that bliss of purity as a child. And like, I told my mom about it happening when I was 7. It happened to the point where I did not remember at all the first few times it happened. I didn't remember it being like, I didn't remember the transition phase. I only remember it being normal and me knowing not to say anything. And when I told my mom, I got asked questions like, you know, are you telling people this for attention? You know, maybe she got into one of her stepmom's 50 Shades of Grey books, which, mind you, I've never read that fuck-ass series, and I never will. And even then, the things that I was describing, those did not happen in 50 Shades of Grey. It wasn't till years later that I had to kind of realize that my paternal family didn't believe me based on their actions. Because there was this one time, my little sister was probably 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. She was young. I don't know how old I was at this time, but I was young, because I was still going over to my paternal grandfather's house. And I remember they were getting ready to go to a family pool party. My abuse always took place during family events because it's a huge family and I was the first grandchild at the time, so nobody was watching me. Nobody paid attention. It would be dark. The adults, I imagine, would also be drinking and stuff. And so everybody kind of thought that like someone else was watching me, and somebody else was watching me, but he was giving me milkshakes and donuts and letting me play with his toy robots so that he could fuck me when nobody was watching. It had clicked in my brain that this was a family event, so he could be there. And I was talking to my grandmother, and I was like asking, and she had said his name. And I was like, I don't think she should go to that. I don't know what I specifically said. It was along the lines of I don't want her going to that. She shouldn't go. And she was like, well, it's not up to you. Oh, word. Oh, word. Okay, word. So eventually I did end up going no contact with all of them. And even to this day, like, that's still a point of contention for me and my father. And he's even said stuff before, like, I lost a family for you. My bad, didn't mean to get molested. When I was younger, I was also raised Christian. I really had to find a way to separate those experiences. Getting a little bit older and realizing I'm not pure anymore. I'm not pure, and it's not my fault. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a say. I don't remember the first time. I don't know what my reaction was. I don't know if I tried to stop it. I don't know. I will never know, most likely. It really made me view sex as something other than being intimate with somebody, as a loving moment with somebody, as a moment of passion and pleasure with somebody, because I had to. I couldn't walk around with my child brain thinking that I was just disgusting and a bad person now. And also through, being hypersexual online, like, I was in spaces and knowing things that I definitely should not have been knowing and should not have been trying to learn about. And then as I got older, I started following creators that were into BDSM and kink and stuff, and so I always kind of knew that community, that kind of lifestyle was something I wanted to explore and go into. I don't know, I think, and also getting older and then going into the workforce and stuff, I just realized that I could be covered head to toe and I'm still gonna get sexualized and objectified and hit on, and I'm getting paid, what, fucking 12 an hour, 13 an hour? Not even in some places. Like, that's bullshit. Even nuns cannot escape being sexualized and being viewed as objects and being viewed as lesser. So I think all of those experiences combined with realizing I'm never gonna escape it really led me to the path that I am on. And ultimately my goal is to be a dominatrix. But yeah, I feel like doing adult content, at least for right now, is a good starting off point. It's a good way for me to build followers, and it's fun. I definitely enjoy the free time that I have. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything else that I need to go over. I guess, if you want to see my work, I go by Obscene Rituals on everything except for TikTok. On TikTok, I go by Sylvia Ludus. I'm going to edit, and if I didn't get the fucking shots that I need from this video, but yeah, I hope you guys have a good night, I guess, and if you're curious, go look. I don't fucking mind. I actually like that.